answers never change.
So what's so spectacular about this? To me, our pal here looks like your average crypt corpse.
Well, he isn't. Do you see this marking on his forehead? That's a symbol of the Ashian, one of the two priest castes who reigned over the Pyrean Empire like the Lightborn did over Vin. He was no high priest, but more than an acolyte. Let's just hope he participated in the manufacture of the sigil stone back in the Pyrean era.
Well, hoping can't hurt. But look, we have company.
Dalvarek, Archmagister, how's the situation?
Walk blessed, Grandmaster. We're fine. Everything is ready. So this is him?
Yes, this is the Prophet.
Interesting. Truly interesting. I imagined you to be different. I'm Lexiel Marigil, Archmagister of the Holy Order. Pleased to make your acquaintance. So, where do we start? Has the Grandmaster already informed you of the goal of this mission? Correct. Now you're wondering, how will this be possible? This is where the Word of the Dead comes into play. An old relic we'll need to find.
The Word of the Dead? I thought that was a legend.
No, it exists. And we also know where. Just so you understand, the Word of the Dead is an artifact that allows entering a deceased person's mind to relive his last memories as if they were your own.
And you want to do just that with our frozen pal here. This is the grand plan, right?
Right. You'll need to locate the Word of the Dead, teleport the Pyrean's body to you, and then enter his thoughts. And there you'll have to look for the words of the ritual. Well, we only lack the last words of this ritual. What you have to look for is an ornamental scroll, which looks just like the one on the drawing I'll give you in a moment. All you have to do is remember the glyphs and the scroll, then write them down once you're back in the waking world. True, but we're talking about a different form of magic. It works similarly to the forbidden school of entropy. That's right, but the priest himself did, and according to the legend, this should allow you to understand. You're telling me. I myself feel like a myriad in a toad's pond. But alternatively, we'd have to excavate every ruin on Vin and hope that some priest left one of the scrolls behind. Well, this is...
There's an old manor in ENDERAL's west that belongs to an old collector of artifacts. We received a tip that the Word of the Dead is in his possession.
Hang on. Are you talking about this odd fellow with the puppets? The aged man from the folk song?
I am. You won't take it. It will be enough to find it, use it on the Pyrean, and then leave. You will travel to the manor with Dalvarek, wait for nightfall, and then introduce yourself to the aged man as a fellow collector of artifacts. Then you will offer him this brooch, and if all goes well, he will offer you a quarter for the night to negotiate in the morning. Then it's all a matter of timing. Sneak out of your room, look for the Word of the Dead, and teleport the Pyrean to you. good question, but no. The aged man is special, so to speak. Even the Lightborn ordered us to let him live in peace. The Black Guardian knows why. So, if we have to trick him, we will at least do it inconspicuously, which is why you and the mercenary are well suited for the task. No one will connect your faces to the Holy Order. Then you'll flee. There must be no violence, no matter what happens. Archmagister?
Yes, well, that is a good point. We don't know, because we don't even know what the artifact looks like. But, how goes the saying? The proof of the eating is in the pudding.
We'll manage somehow. And even if we don't, it definitely sounds like an adventure.
It's a great responsibility, be aware of that. But I have faith in both of you. Now get going as soon as you can. This mission will be fruitful. I can feel it.
And there they go. Yep, just meet me at the Mirillis Tower at the Western Cliff. I'll go grab my stuff now.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
Hello. I do? Thought I had gotten rid of it by now. But yes, I'm originally from Nirim. Just like you, as I've heard.
I can't sing.
Oh, I don't know. Probably because I don't have very fond memories of my time there. You know, if someone would have told you 20 years ago that one day I would be the Archmagister of the Holy Order, you'd have probably laughed in his face. It's absurd just to think of it. You know, I was a slave there. Yes, you see, I was born into a traveling group of Aeterna minstrels. I never got to know my father, though, and living that way was hard. So my mother eventually decided to burn all bridges behind us and start over. Sorry, I'm babbling. I don't want to bother you with my boring stories. Well, after some days on the road, we met a traveling merchant who gave us a ride to the next village, a small one named Sildren in the Salathan forest. It seemed almost perfect at the beginning. The place was quiet, and my mother found herself a job as a weaver in the local count's castle. One day, however, the count simply stopped paying her, and, well, when she asked for the reason, he told her that we were his property from that moment on, just like that. Why wouldn't it be? We were just a woman and a young son, and he owned both the land and the local guard. We had to serve this Creole, that was the Count's name, for 9 years. It was horrible. No one. We weren't the only slaves he kept, and the villagers were too afraid to do anything. As for Chancellor Baratheon's armies, well, I'd be surprised if they even knew Sildren existed. Pure luck, I suppose. One day, an Enderalayan merchant and his escort passed through the village. They were on their way to Waverock to catch a ship from there. And just by coincidence, he saw me crushing some herbs I had found in the forest. That's what I did in the little spare time I had, you know. The Salathan forest is so incredibly rich with plants you have no idea. What I didn't know was that I had found an entire sheaf of God's dung. That impressed the merchant so much that he simply bought me. He left her there. Believe me, what he did had nothing to do with mercy. He just saw that there was money to be made off of me. I cried and protested, of course, but 2 months later, our ship arrived in Ark, where he got infected with flesh maggots and died shortly thereafter. Luckily enough, he was a sublime. And since his relatives didn't know what to do with me once he was dead, they simply asked the Order to grant me the novitiate, which they did. How the left path. Sounds crazy when I tell it like that, and it probably is. But back then, it just happened. I tried, but as you can imagine, my obligations made my options to do so very limited. Only recently, however, word reached me from a mercenary whom I sent over, According to him, Creo is dead, and his castle was deserted. But who knows if he just said that to appease me. I think when all of this is over, I might ask the Grandmaster for permission to travel there myself. And then, who knows? By the righteous path, now I really am babbling. I am sure a man like you has better things to do than listen to the stories of a boring old chronicler. I should probably get back to business. Forgive me. Yes? Don't ask. Reconstructing the outer shell was challenging, particularly given the strange metal it is made of, but we found a way to do it. As for its inner workings and what these sockets are for, we are still lurking in the dark. This machine, it's, how should I say, different, otherworldly.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
So, you actually made it, Prodigy.
I will honor
Congratulations. Even though I'm not sure everyone is as planned.
So much to do, so little time.
Yes? Walk blessed, friend. Sure. Where to? Ah, there you are. Ready to go? What, you mean the living dead, the watirs everywhere, the frenzied civilians? Wonderful. Here, this is the place where the aged man's manor is supposed to be. Lead on. I'll follow you. Eager to explore, aren't you? Take your time, I'll wait. I can use a break anyway. Huh? Ah, there you are. Let's push on. Eager to explore, aren't you? Take your time, I'll wait. I can use a break anyway. Evil puppets the bards have been singing about. Huh. Interesting to see what some people consider art. This is where he lives. Huh. This aged man definitely knows how to make himself comfortable. I guess now it's time to wait for nightfall. We wouldn't want this guy to take the artifact, pay for it, and have us leave right away. Alright. I think that's enough. Now let's see how we can get in there. These busts look interesting.
Yes? What do you want? I'm the servant, so no, I'm not. And if you're looking for charity, you've come to the wrong place. Do you now? So what could two traveling merchants dressed in rags have that might be of interest to my master? This is the silver brooch of a seraph. Where did you get this? Uh-huh. Well then, this changes the situation. You may enter. Plus, forgive my harshness. I misjudged you. Unfortunately, Master Cages is currently playing music, and will be at least until dawn. But you can make yourself comfortable in the guest room. He will see to you in the morning.
Okay, that sounds good. Today we wouldn't have made it back to Ark anyway. Just try to get my reward into flying this weather. So, nice house you've got here. So it's just you and your master who live here, right? People talk about him a lot.
Please, but just save the small talk. You're here for business. Good. Now follow me upstairs. I'll show you to your quarters. As I said already, Master Gages will play through the night. My apologies if his music keeps you awake. But if you want a piece of advice, listen. You won't hear anything comparable in all of Vin.
Well, then we'll do just that. So I take it your master's an artist, right? I saw the puppets. They're interesting.
Interesting. Yes, that they are. Master Gages always says art is unique because it allows us to see what our mind doesn't want us to see.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, we all have demons inside of us, don't you agree, Miser Dalvaric? Memories, truths about ourselves we've locked away somewhere in our unconscious because we don't want to confront them. True art surpasses all these barriers because it reminds us of who we truly are.
Interesting thought.
All right, here we are. Make yourselves at home. I will inform you once the Master is ready to see you. By the way, call it intuition or premonition, but I somehow had the feeling we would have company tonight, and took the liberty of preparing a small meal. I'm afraid the meat is a little charred, but it should taste good. Now, please excuse me. I have to rest. It is late, and the day has been exhausting.
Of course. Sleep well. And thanks for your hospitality.
You're welcome.
And there he goes. Call me paranoid, but this all went a little too smooth for my liking. Yeah. For example, the fact that he was already standing near the gate when you rang, and that he lives with a man who's older than the Black Guardian, at least according to the legends. But, well, to each his own. Yeah, 1 or 2 hours at least, until this servant's asleep. I've got a skin of wine with me, so if you want, we could enjoy it in the meantime. I wouldn't touch this food if I were you. You could tell me about this trial while we're waiting. Or about anything. Just distract me from those damn ugly puppets over there. Interesting thought. The thing about the last moment that lasts forever. Did you know that Kyrian mentalists are apparently able to sort of become aware in their dreams? And apparently, in a dream, one can exist free from time. There's a story about an arcanist who spent 1,000 years in a dream while he only slept 8 hours in his waking life. But, well, that's a topic on its own. I think it's late enough for our little excursion now. Let's find that relic. There it is. Master Gaius' music that transcends all barriers. As jolly as this place. That looks like some kind of study. Maybe we could find something here. Something like that. We have to find this artifact. Maybe he's hiding it in some kind of chest or a secret chamber. Let's look around. We have to find this artifact. Maybe he's hiding it in some kind of chest or a secret chamber. Let's look around. We have to find this artifact. Maybe he's hiding it in some kind of chest or a secret chamber. Let's look around. Huh? That sounds good. Hey!
Gages, why did you wake me? Are we there yet? Oh, you did? Oh, that's kind of you. But don't worry so much about me, darling. I'll manage somehow. I'm sorry you have to go through all this, really. All this time, I can hardly imagine how hard that must be for you. But I still believe in our dream. I still do.
highest being. You! I thought you were dead.
Jakal. He betrayed us. They're all dead.
What?
Yes, but it doesn't matter. We have to get away from here. His armies, they're everywhere, and they're killing everyone. What about Lilanya? Is she alright?
Yes, she's asleep. But where do you want to go? We're... Come on, get inside. We'll talk about it there. Our brother, he's here too. He arrived last night.
Kumar? I thought he was up north.
He was, yes. But he rode back when he heard about the siege. He wants to help defend the city. He will be angry when he finds out that you fled, you know?
Staying would have been suicide. He would understand.
Kumar, our...
I see it. Why are you here?
The Treasure Master betrayed us, and Jakal's troops have gone crazy. They're massacring their entire city. They said we...
I know that, but you didn't answer my question. Why are you here?
Where else should I be, damn it? The High Ones won. They won, and this accursed cleansing will happen, whatever it is. But if there's only the slightest chance that we can make it through, I will use it. Unlike you, I do have someone I need to take care of.
Let's hope she doesn't take after her father. Your cowardice disgusts me, brother. You never understood what it meant to be an Aishin.
I knew that would happen.
He's such a bulldog. For him, there's nothing but his goddamn honor.
At least since he lost Yalek, yes. He won't let us flee. You do realize that, right? He will force you to keep your oath, to stay and fight. To the death.
I will talk to him. We'll do this, sister. Somehow.
Yes, of course we will. There's still some stew. I will prepare a bowl for you, alright? You go look after the little one. I think she is slowly beginning to understand what's happening here.
Go and get Perry. We're leaving. Well, isn't that good timing? I have been thinking, and I have decided that I will not let my only brother die as a deserter. We will ride to the city at first light and help with the defense.
That's not going to happen. I told you that. Zura and I will take Lelania and flee to the north. Come with us or don't, but you will not get in our way. Period.
Period. Thank the highest being that we're family. Just thank the...
Kill them! Kill them all!
Oh, by the name of the sun, do something, Peric. Keep them out of here!
Damn it! More of them!
Prophet's ass. Someone's out there.
Really think you can stop us? For every one of us you kill, a dozen more will come.
No, please. I don't want any of this. No one wants any of this. Just let us go. I have a daughter.
So, I hope you slept well. Well, what do you think? I brought you here. After you broke into my sanctum and made your little journey into the realm of the dead. Please, don't look at me like that. I knew what you were up to from the start. Sadly enough, I did. No, you don't. Because you don't dare to question. Peculiar situation, all of this, isn't it? Suddenly you, the fugitive urchin, become mankind's salvation. And suddenly, just like that, out of nowhere, you can perform feats others would require decades to master. Even better, you're one of the emissaries who can hear the echo of the future. But still, you never asked yourself why. You're right, I do. But if there's one thing time has taught me, there are things one has to realize for him or herself. You can't force insight on people. It has never worked, and it never will. Who am I? Back then, I might have given you an impressive response to that. But at this time, I couldn't say anything that would help you. Let's just say, I'm an observer. A fleshless eye, if you prefer. In this era, you might also know me as the Aged Man. Yes, and I'm certain that irritates you. But timelessness isn't that much of a feat. You will find that out yourself soon enough, too. Amongst other things, yes, the cycle. Believe me, all I say is quite thought through. But unfortunately, there's no point in pursuing this conversation any further. You have what you came for, and the rest is up to you. Even though I doubt it will make much of a difference. Maybe you could do just that, but time will tell. Now, forgive me.
Phew. But what the heck was that? Where's the manor? Try me. Any explanation's better than none. Uh-huh. That sounds strange, to say the least. After you went down that shaft, someone locked the door to the study, and I couldn't get it open, no matter what I tried. Well, a couple hours later, I found myself face down in a puddle of mud. But anyway, these glyphs you drew on paper look good to me. So at least officially, this mission was a success. I only wish I could... You see that? What's that? Casket? But where's this noise coming from? This is it? But then the aged man left it on purpose. For us. Whew. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but it seems to me as if this fellow knew a lot more than we did from the start. Still, we should take this thing with us. Let's go back to Ark and report to the Grand Master. I've got a scroll right here with me. What do you say? Well then, see you back in the temple.
My sir, I have a letter for you.
I suggest you go inside and tell the Grand Master what happened. And give him the casket. I'll go grab my pay now.
A young woman,
and I'll head back
but
to
I don't know her name.
I guess
I'm
I
sorry.
need a pipe.
Now excuse me, I have another
For some reason,
delivery.
I can't get these
What
puppets
blessed?
out of my head. They remind me of something. But I don't know what exactly. Anyway, see you around.
Catholic must slip every look. Where is this supposed to lead?
blessed.
Why is that stuff so expensive?
This just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
To remember that.
Yeah, as if.
Who are you?
Blazes, it's dark
Prophet,
already.
were you successful?
Bye-bye.
Then tell me.
Transcribe verse 80 100 times.
So he knew about the cycle. That's disquieting and interesting. Yes, maybe that's an attempt to help us. He's not against us, because if he were, he wouldn't have let you out alive. I bet that the Lightborn also knew more about the aged man than they told us. This explains why Malphas told the Order specifically not to bother him. But we will discuss his identity another time. What matters is that you were able to find the missing glyphs, and that we now have this relic, however useful it will be in the future. Bring both of them to the Archmagister, so that we can activate the Sigil Stone. Oh, and one more thing. What did the Pyreans in your memory call those behind the cleansing? The High Ones?
Yes, it makes sense.
Good. Then the enemy has a name now. Come back to me once you've talked to Mirillis. There has been another disquieting development. Tell Mirillis about the ritual. We need to activate this Sigil Stone.
So, you actually made it, Prodigy. Congratulations. Even though I'm not sure everyone is as glad about that as the Grand Master.
Keep walking. An outlander. What are you doing in this part of the city? Shouldn't you be, I don't know, somewhere else?
My sir.
Jarem dorba nubis, locorem tares.
Blasted blistering blazes. You sound like a boozed-up poet. This is supposed to be magic?
Entropy is a dangerous school, my sir. One false word and the stone could burst into flames.
Well, keep up this babble, and he might do it on purpose. You godlambs are just missing the pepper, even when you're doing magic.
Pepper? Magic needs to have prudence, not pepper. She's like a sick frog. If you... Prophet, you're back.
Sun be praised. Working with these fumblers is harder than teaching complex mathematics to a Leor. The Scrounger already told me about your success. Good work. Have you got the glyphs? Yes, just show me already. Yes, that does make sense. Step back, I'll show you how this works. Jarem dorba nubis, locarem taris danida. Sharak Lishamra!
By the righteous path. Are you feeling this?
Yes, this is impressive. Truly impressive. Are those the shards?
They're certainly not your underpants, are they? According to the Piraean writings, these shards offered protection against the Red Madness, as long as the sigil stone remains active. Prophet, you're the one who found the missing glyphs, so you should go first. Go on, touch one of the shards. So, how do you feel? Very well. Then let's hope that this sigil stone lives up to its promise. Boy, go and tell the quartermaster that every keeper, as well as each one of us, is to be wearing one of these fragments by nightfall.
Boy?
Buzz off.
My sir, I really don't think this...
Do what he says, Legion. That is not how you will make friends here, Firespark. Not at all.
If it were friends I was looking for, I certainly wouldn't be here. Once again, good work. Old Aranthiel asked me to give you that so you could buy better equipment. Now go back to him. Something disquieting has happened.
Blaze,
Yes.
it's dark already.
Yes, that
Time
just
really
might
does
work.
fly by.
This just doesn't make any sense. Why can't it ever be
Let's hope
easy?
he knows what he's doing.
Brother, walk blessed. How are things?
Remind me not to burst into tears.
Greetings. Okay, I suppose. This machine really is a science in itself. Wherever
How's
you
that?
look. Where is this supposed to be? Along the metal, it seems to be. Okay. Junction of Pyrean crystals and
day,
shadow
yeah.
steel.
One
We have
day.
gathered. Best blacksmiths in the country, but recreating this stuff is incredibly complicated, and that's an understatement.
Huh. Why don't we just use normal metal instead?
That doesn't work. This framework. It doesn't just hold the core of the machine in place, it also conducts energy. It's hard to describe, really. If it helps you, imagine it as some kind of organism. Every element is part of the whole. At least, that's how Rim says it.
The entropist.
Yes. Say what you want about him, but he does know what he's doing. Without him, we wouldn't be half as far by now.
Well, good to hear he's such a valuable addition. It's not as if he, the Pegist, or her grumpy old pal didn't help Aranthiel's son massacre our brothers and sisters on Erin.
What are you getting at? It's the Grand Master's will. And if I have to choose between working with those heretics or the cleansing, I know my choice.
Now, if it isn't the prodigy, well?
And it wounds me to see those mages desecrated with every second word they say. Anyway, enough of the chit-chat. I have to get going. The novices are waiting for me.
May your path always be even, brother.
And yours.
What?
Yes.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
The fabled prodigy. I hope you can live up to what they say about it.
Walk blessed.
This feeling just now. That was the sigil stone, wasn't it?
Yes, it makes sense.
Very good. With the beacon and the sigil stone, we now have both a sword and shield against these High Ones. That is more than I had hoped for.
Wherever you look.
However, there has also been a disquieting development. I have called in a conclave, and it will take place in a day. Come back then, and use the time to rest.
Ah! It's dark already. Time really does fly by.
What do you want, urchin child?
The prodigy, huh? Apparently we owe you for the shards of this sigil.
Yes.
I didn't think I
Oh
would
well,
ever say
Naya, isn't that a sight? The one they all talk about has come to visit us. Greetings, Prophet. I'm Juslan Sharon, and, as you might know already, one of the ever-renowned Neramese mages around here. What's your name? Pleased to meet you. And you have Chilean blood in you. That's a rare sight around these parts. But anyway, what brings you to me? Do you need anything specific? Or do you just want to talk?
The two of you mean Tyra's foster daughter and this outlander?
Sister Sakaresh and the Prophet, yes.
Well observed. I'm a child of the sand, a vassal of the Golden Queen, or whichever other nickname these idiotic people around here have for us.
Well, if you believe the talk, this Prophet can see things connected to the cycle, and apparently he knows how to fight like Roram Waterblade does, even though he had no...
That's a long story, and no offense, one I rather wouldn't share. I'm not a friend of wearing my heart on the sleeve. Didn't we, Naya?
I'm sure a lot of his skills come from this aura, whatever it is.
Someone asks about you, darling. Isn't that charming? Most people are too polite to. But I'm afraid I can't satisfy your curiosity, at least not today. Let's just say that there are more things between life and death than what meets the eye.
True. Anyway,
What, are you asking me to teach you? From what I've heard, you know magic as if you've studied it for centuries. But sure, why not? What do you want to know?
He is strong, and that is just what we need in times like these. Anyway, I don't want to take up more of your time. I'll see you at the sermon.
Ah, elementarism. If Sinistra is a Scaragian dagger, and thaumaturgy is a solid broadsword, then elementarism is a giant two-handed warhammer. A good elementarist is able to realize eventualities in which the air around him suddenly bursts into flame, or channel lightning from the sky. A very aggressive and powerful school, as you can imagine. Most arcanists favor it above others. A thaumaturgist is able to alter his body and his surroundings to his liking. In practice, that means he can, for example, create magical wards between his fingertips, or send bursts of telekinetic energy towards his foes. He can also boost his own bodily capabilities, and even go as far as healing his own wounds, even though that is to be done with caution, since it strains the mind quite a lot. A very noble school, you see, but also very limited. Shh, don't talk so loud. You know how our holy friends around here feel about this school. We don't want them to get upset, do we? Sinistra. It's the mightiest of the three schools, but also the most dangerous one, which is why practicing it is forbidden on every continent of the civilized world, except for Kiran. That is mostly due to the kind of eventualities it interacts with. The human psyche and the forces of life and death. Someone trained in the arts of psionics is capable of forcing his will onto others, and I'm not speaking metaphorically here. An able entropist, on the other hand, can revive the dead as his minions, and channel the energy of death. A stunningly powerful feat if you know what you're doing, and a stunningly suicidal one if you don't. This is also why only 5 of 10 students of Sinistra manage to master it. The other 5s either stop in time or end up as either a driveling lunatic in an asylum, or as a greenishly steaming skeleton. Both of the latter rather undesirable perspectives, if you ask me. So if you plan to use it yourself, just be careful.
Is this important?
Transcribe verse 80 100 times.
This just doesn't make any sense.
This just doesn't
Why
make
can't
sense.
it ever be easy? Walk blessed.
May his light guide you.
Yes, that just might work.
Prophet?
Huh. You're the one they call the prophet, aren't you?
Do you know the aged man of whom no one knows from whence he came? His house lies on the edge of a solid.
I just don't see the fucking point.
Glow of death and pallid light illumine the dark of night, gleaming out the windows of the aged man's abode.
Yes, it makes sense.
If you met her at his door, say farewell to our world. For if everyone who entered never walked back on the road from the aged man's abode. Notorious of widespread fame, yet no
War on Nerum. War on Kile. Red madness. What the fuck is wrong with this
his
world?
abode on a solitary cliff.
Yes? Well, as I told you, I was never very popular with the other novices. You know, the novitiate was very challenging. The magisters only rarely gave us days off to contemplate, as they called it. The others usually used it to go to the tavern to gamble and drink. I never really liked that kind of pastime, and I still don't. I've never really thought about things like that. You know, life in the temple is quite secluded, and I doubt there are many men or women who would find my way of living attractive. But forgive me, that's very personal. I don't really want to talk about it. That's true, but when I feel the need to relax, I prefer taking a stroll or spending time in the baths. Whatever secret there is about relaxing to loud music, raucous shouting, and alcohol is beyond me. Tattoo? Oh, of course, you mean my mark. I've had that for as long as I can remember, and I don't have the slightest idea as to how I got it. That's what Tyrus said too. But if it has a meaning, it's obscure. I couldn't find anything in the books, and the Magisters couldn't put their fingers on it either. No, it isn't. It's just there, that's all. Not without leaving a bad scar, at least according to the apothecary. And even if that weren't the case, I don't know if I'd want it gone. It reminds me of something. It does. You're the first to tell me that. But thanks, I guess. Yes? Well, what should I think about them? They're disquieting. Speaking of which, recently there's been word from the League of Apothecari up north. They say that their studies on the Red Madness haven't borne fruit yet, and that it is like no disease they've ever encountered. Honestly, that has rid me of the last of my doubts about the cycle being real, just as the Grandmaster said. Let's just hope we can find out how to stop it. Yes, it is. Master Tyrus, my foster father. He was half Kyranian, as you might have guessed already. Some words just stuck around. It was stitched into the blanket they found me in near that village. I don't really know if it is my actual name, but I had nothing else to go with, so it stuck. If it's really necessary. What do you want to know? Yes, but at what price? It isn't just what happens on the outside when it tries to take me over, Saira. At least not just that. It's what goes on inside. My thoughts, my feelings. Imagine you are walking through a forest, all on your own. Then you hear heavy breathing, sobbing, and as you follow it, you find a wounded hunter. He's been mauled by a bear and is now heavily injured and delirious. That is the part of me that is myself, would want to help this man, to get him to safety. But the moment I see blood, the smell of death, these other thoughts start invading my mind. Yes, and that sight, it would arouse it. I can't find a better word for it. If I were to give in, it would... Forgive me, Saira. I can't talk about this. I am sorry. Yeah, it's just odd to talk about it like this. If that were the case, I probably wouldn't be here right now, would I? No, it hasn't. Usually it's just thoughts, and they're almost always there. It's as if there's always something lurking in the dark corners of my mind, just waiting for me to give in. It's tough, to say the least. I don't know if you can relate to that. Honest answer? I don't know, and I don't want to know. As I told you in the schola, if I really am the one to blame for that massacre in the village, if this memory is real, then the answer to your question is yes. I would transform into whatever this creature is, but it will never come to that. You have my word. Yes, but at what price? It isn't just what happens on the outside when it tries to take me over, Sair. Imagine you are... he's been mauled by a bear, that is, the part of me that is myself, would want to help this man, to get him to safety. But the moment I see blood, the smell of death, these other thoughts start invading my mind.
Shivering hands and delirious eyes.
Prophet?
What?
You. I heard you passed the trial without going to the novitiate. Congratulations, I guess.
Greetings.
Huh. You're the one they call the prophet, aren't you?
Monsieur? They sit on their asses and hope things settle themselves. Idiots.
Hello? Of course. Of course. Walk blessed, and don't forget your money is safe with Sue and friends.
Hungry for arcane secrets? It's not as if I didn't tell them that already. Just
how they are. Apples,
Come
dates,
to Yorinto
bananas,
Shandash
the
and buy
freshest
fish.
fruits right
Only
from the farmer's
best
coast
and
and
fresh from the
Duneville.
Red Sea.
How long do they expect me to wait for my shipment?